This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Every week moving forward is a big one in your Survivor contest, specifically out here at Circa, and then it gets absolutely crazy with the holiday weeks being their own separate weeks in this contest, and we'll dive into it here as Tony Farmer joins the program now. He does an incredible job following these contests out here in Las Vegas. He is with the Last Men Standing podcast and the Saturday Night Sweat pod with Survivor Sweat as well. Tony, thanks for hopping on the Progressive guest line today. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Let's start with this. How many people remaining here at Circa have multiple entries left?
You've got 118 people who have 2+ left. 29 people have 3+ entries. 12 people have 4+ entries. One person has 6 entries left. And there's one guy, Mitch, who has 10 entries left. He's the only one.
Man, imagine being in any of those spots right now. I have 1 left. Imagine, I think Human still has 3.
Wow.
So they're in great spots. Does the guy with 1, how many weeks so far getting to this point has he actually used the same team on every entry every week?
I think almost every week. There was one week where he took 7 Chiefs, and it's the only week that he didn't go all in. And I think he did that for path diversity purposes, you know, maybe looking to take, say, 3 Chiefs on Thanksgiving, so he's not all in on that day. I don't know for sure, but if I had to get into his head, that's what I'm thinking he's probably thinking.
Okay. And then what's the breakdown then for this week and beyond? Because week 13A, Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday, combined with week 13B, they're so paramount to the contest. How many people still have Philly and Baltimore? And then if you want to tie in, how many of those same entries have Detroit for this week or Thanksgiving and then Kansas City?
Yeah, it's an absolutely fascinating week for Circa Survivor. 580 have the Ravens available. 773 have the Eagles available. But 450 have both the Eagles and Ravens available, guys. So people are really going to have to draw a line in the sand this week and make a decision. Do you take the Ravens this week against the Jets and then trust the Eagles on Thanksgiving? Maybe you want to save them both. I don't know if this is something you guys have thought about, but what if there's an injury in week 12? If a guy gets a concussion in week 12, he's not going to clear protocol in time for Thanksgiving. So maybe if you have both of those teams available, I'm talking about the Ravens and Eagles, maybe you try to find another team this week to get by, like the few people that still have Seattle, New England, things like that. Because, again, you lock yourself in to a team on Thanksgiving and there's an injury this Sunday, you could be in a load of trouble.
This Burrow thing is throwing a wrench into things as well, too. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. When is he going to come back? I even saw a report just before I came on. I don't know how credible it was. It said maybe there's even an outside chance he comes back this week because he is back at practice, and I guess Flacco's dealing with a shoulder injury. But yeah, that's a huge wrench, Paulie. Absolutely. I mean, I'm thinking about the Bengals maybe like week 17 against the Cardinals. If Burrow's healthy, that game would maybe be in the snow because I don't know if you guys have looked at that. Week 17 is absolutely gnarly. If you don't have the Rams or Seattle, who are going to be really low owned that week, can you imagine week 17? I swear to you, I think there's going to be people on the Saints. I think there might be people on the Titans. Those two teams play each other. For $18 million on the line, you may have people on the Raiders or Giants in week 17 because that week is so scary.
Oh, week 17, if you're not ready for that one and you burn your teams, it's a suicide mission. That's going to get a lot of people. That's why I still think, like I agree with Derek, at some point, Tony, we're going to get some carnage here. There's a lot of football left in this contest.
Yeah, for sure. And it could come as quickly as Thanksgiving, guys, because like I said, you look at these numbers with the Eagles and Ravens, it tends to be like trajecting toward a lot of people on the Eagles. And if the Bears can somehow upset the Eagles, I think the Bears are a very overrated team. They've gotten lucky this year, but hey, if they can continue to get lucky on Black Friday, that could be the big carnage spot that we're all kind of suspecting might come. Now, when you look ahead to Christmas, 658 people have both Dallas and Washington available. That's 70% of the pool. And I think what a lot of the pool is thinking is, you know what? I just want to get there, and then I can maybe hedge later. So I'm going to go ahead and burn Kansas City. I'm going to burn Detroit. Yeah. As long as I have both Dallas and Washington available, I can wait and choose on Christmas which of those two teams I like better then. We'll see how Jaden Daniels looks if he's back. Are these Cowboys going to keep the momentum going, et cetera?
Great points. What if I don't like my path and I'm freaked out? What are these going for? 30,000? 35,000?
Man, last I checked about 2 weeks ago, I had a friend of the family that sold 25% for $8,000. And I'm sure it's gone up a little bit more since then over at the Survivor Sweat marketplace that you're referring to.
Wow.
So that's a clean way to hedge it that way, is just sell a percentage of your equity. You can decide if you're selling pick control or not. You can sell as little as 1% if you want. You can sell 1% to 10 different people if you want. It's up to you.
So the person that sold 25% for $8, do you remember what the entry was worth at that time?
Yeah, at that time it was probably worth, it was roughly 15 or 16 or so.
All right.
Yeah. But what happens in this marketplace, guys, and you may be aware of this already, there's a point where right now, obviously, it's a seller's market. It will become a buyer's market very, very soon, because people just don't have the money to be shelling out. Most people don't have the money to be shelling out $100,000 for an entry, right? So at some point, it'll flip, and these things will be going for less than they're actually evaluated for.
Let me throw this at you. So if we get news that Burrow, forget this week for 1 second, but he is going to be, like, early next week, Burrow's going to go. He can play Thanksgiving night. He's going to be the guy. Will that make enough people punt on using Baltimore, scare them off, and pivot to Philadelphia, and then as a direct result, it would actually make Baltimore more appealing to use?
Yeah, Mitch, I don't think it should, but I think it will. Like, Joe Burrow can't play defense. That's a historically bad defense. Hendrickson is banged up now. They just lost another cornerback, right? So I don't think the Burrow news should scare people that much, but just the name recognition that comes with Joe Burrow and knowing that he's on the other sideline, maybe in a clutch situation in the fourth quarter, I think it will potentially scare a lot of people off. The Ravens right now are the biggest favorite on Thanksgiving by a couple points, which makes this week even more interesting, right? Because you've got the Lions, the Patriots, Seattle, and the Ravens this week are by far the biggest favorites.
How many people?
All low-owned teams.
Yep. Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you have the numbers in front of you right now? Like, how many what's the exact number left on those three teams?
So check this out. Seattle, Patriots, and the Lions, 475 people have used all three of those. That's 51% of the pool has used Patriots, Lions, or Seattle, and Seattle. And then the fourth team is the Ravens, who you have incentive to save them because of the holiday spot that we just mentioned. So people are kind of being funneled toward these teams in the next tier, which would, of course, be like the Rams, the 49ers, the Packers, and the Bills on Thursday, which I heard you guys talking about. So it's going to be in it. We could have big implications here Monday Night Football. We're expecting roughly 30, maybe even 33% of the entire field on the 49ers on Monday Night Football.
Ooh,
that many, huh?
That's your big boy.
And by the way, the 49ers have a lot of good spots where you can use them yet, though.
Yep. Tony does a great job. Last Man Standing podcast, also the Survivor Sweat show on Saturday nights as well. This is 2 minutes left here, Tony. But there's a lot going on in this town with these, and we'll talk about Grandissimo tomorrow with David Baker. But Mitch has won this contest before. I can't, and Alex White has won it. I can't believe we have a contest in town where there's less than 5 people left, and people are reaching out to you about tracking down other contestants about a chop. And I mean, you can't have a contest where you would have to wait till Wednesday to find out if you won. There's got to be a better solution.
Yeah, you're referring to the stations contest. I agree. I think there's 3 or 4 people left. Someone reached out to me today saying, "Hey, Tony, can you help me find someone?" And it's a shame. It shouldn't be like that, Paulie. I'm with you. I have some other challenges with that particular contest, but I don't want to be too hard on them. But I agree with you.
Yeah. So I won it a long time ago, 2006. It started with a little bit more than 900 people in it. And we had absolutely no idea which other teams were getting used. And I had, to this day, I don't even know the other people that were in like the final 4, the final 2, whatever. It came down to the final week. And the guy that we were up against, they had the Bears at home, but they were a machine that year, laying like 15 to Miami, and they lost outright. Came out of nowhere, stunned the entire industry, right? And we had the Seahawks laying like 7.5 against the Raiders on Monday night. My partner was at the game, and he goes, "Trust me on this one. Raiders are not covering." And I did, and that's how we won the contest. But I had no idea how to get in touch with any of these people at all.
You don't know who they're taking. You don't know who they are. Chop, forget it. You don't even know.
That's acceptable in 2006. It's unacceptable in 2025 when we got Twitter and all these different communities and stuff. Yeah.
Well said.
Yep.
Well said.
All right, Tony. Great spot, man. Thanks for the time. We appreciate the breakdown.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
There you go.
Talk soon.
Tony Farmer. Follow him on X at Tony's Market Tips. He is with the Last Men Standing pod and also Survivor Sweat and the Saturday Night Sweat as well.
Now, this was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, these things were going for $30,000. Take the implied value right now and throw it out the window. It's worth what someone's going to give you for it. So you can get $35,000 for these if you want to do that. You can get $40,000. I mean, if you got a great entry, it's right there.
That's exactly the point. If you still have an incredible path with a lot of strong teams remaining for the final half of the season, that bad boy could absolutely go more than what it's worth. Because some of these entries have used, they burned a lot of the good teams already.
Yeah.
And they're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Up next, Paul's going to recap last night's betting action with Win Some, Lose Some here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for checking out the show today, watching on YouTube TV, listening on SiriusXM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates. In 15 minutes, I will give you a sneaky three-point prop that I like tonight in the NBA that pays around 2-1. Mike Palm in studio in 30 minutes, and we kick off the hour here on a Wednesday with Vito's son, the great Sal Paolantonio, on the Progressive Guest Line. Hey, Sal Pal, thanks for the time. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, and this is such a great weekend. There's so much on the line this weekend. I've named this weekend the Gotta Have It weekend. There's so many Gotta Have It games, so many teams that gotta have a win this weekend.
What happens to the Chiefs moving forward if they don't have it on Sunday?
Yeah, they're DIW, as we like to say in the United States Navy, dead in the water. This is absolutely number one, got to have it weekend for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs will win. I think the Chiefs will beat the Colts, and I think the Chiefs will beat the Colts, and I think they will beat the Colts by enough of a number in this football game. I do.
Okay.
I like the Chiefs a lot.
All right.
Yes.
Incredible job by this Philly defense. What they did Monday night against Green Bay and how they shut down Detroit on Sunday night. Only a 3-point favorite, and Dallas has to have it. The total has dropped 4 points as well because in lieu of what's going on offensively with the Eagles. What do you think Sunday afternoon?
Yeah. So the Eagles always play well in Dallas. Jalen Hurts always plays well in Dallas. And I think the Eagles defense sets up nicely in matchup against the Cowboys. So you're going to see a lot of Quinyon Mitchell on George Pickens. And Mitchell has fast become one of the best players, not only at the cornerback position, but in the whole league. And their ability to rush up the middle, you know, they have 12 batted passes, 12 batted balls. That leads the NFL, 9 by Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter alone. The Eagles are only giving up a 57% completion percentage on defense. That's number one in the National Football League, and they're number one in the National Football League in only 9 touchdown passes given up. This pass defense is locked down perfect. It's a perfect matchup. They will probably, they'll probably swap out. So you'll see Quinyon Mitchell travel a little bit with Pickens, but they might bracket Pickens. And by the way, I love Pickens. Pickens is a tremendous athlete, and he's perfect for this offense. I like Pickens a lot. I think he gets some numbers this weekend, even against this Philly defense. But I think the Eagles will win, and they will cover.
All right.
Okay. Well, break that down a little bit for us because I want to spend a little bit of time here on Quinyon Mitchell. Next Gen Stats, Sal Pal pointed out after the game on Sunday night against the Lions, he did not allow a reception on any of his 6 targets, tied for the most targets without allowing a reception in a game over the last 2 years. Get this, he has allowed a 41.9% completion percentage this season. That's the lowest by any player since 2018. So how do the Cowboys attack him?
Well, Pickens is good. Pickens has long arms and long legs, and he's very fluid in his motion. He's very good at the point of attack when the football is in the air. He's taller than Quinyon Mitchell. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup with Mitchell and Pickens, and I think Pickens are going to get it. He's going to get his numbers. And if you look at the way teams have attacked the Eagles, and you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown with Detroit, and last week you look at Jameson Williams. They were very good pre-snap motion with both of those wide receivers releasing in the slot, hiding them pre-snap, and then a quick crossing route over the middle to get them open with their speed and length. And I think you'll see a lot of that attempted by the Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer in this football game. Football's such a game of matchups. And that's why I'm the host of the matchup show for 23 years. Mm-hmm. It's such a game of matchups because you see Detroit. They drop a 44 number on Washington, and then they can hardly score against Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. It's such a matchup game. So when you look at Dallas drops a number on Las Vegas, but now they're up in weight class, two weight classes. They went from featherweight to heavyweight in 1 week and on a short week. So I like the Eagles to win this game. I do.
All right. How about the Sunday night game? Tampa got to get people back. Tough stretch of games. Patriots, Bills, and now the Rams on the road. Rams didn't play well. Still won. A great job by their defense with the turnovers. Rams 6.5 Sunday night.
I remember last week I was on the show and I said, you got to watch Sam Darnold and those turnovers.
You did. You said it. Yep. Yes. Number one in the league now. Yes.
I said, you got to watch the Seahawks and Sam Darnold and those turnovers. And the Seahawks, 4 interceptions by Sam Darnold, and they were in the game. They were 10 feet away on a field goal from tying it up and winning the game. Mm-hmm. So, I am a little skeptical of L.A. still because of that. And Mike McDonald plays the same kind of defense that Todd Bowles plays, where you see a lot of blitzing from the defensive back position, which caught Matthew Stafford off guard. And I think Bowles does a lot of the same stuff when you look at the matchup of their defense. Bucs have absolutely got to have this game. This is the one I look at and I say, Bucs are got to have it. And so I like the Bucs a lot in this game with getting almost a touchdown, right? 6.5.
That's right.
6.5, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you like them to cover or you like them to win?
I don't know about win, gentlemen. Hard to win on the road in L.A. with all that offense of the Los Angeles Rams. Hard to win on the road in L.A.
All right. Well, Matthew Stafford's the new short shot to win the MVP. The way it's going. Well, right? He's got to be the guy, right?
No, I don't. Well, see, I've always told you that the voters, who I know, having been in the media for 40 years, 40. So I have a little experience being around my brethren in the media. They definitely like the quarterback position because he touches the ball every single time. So there's a bias there. But I'm going to give you a number, and I'm going to start promoting this on radio with you guys first.
Thank you.
On VSiN. I'm going to start doing it on a matchup show. I'm going to start doing it all over the place. Jonathan Taylor, 31.5% of the time that he touches the football, it's either a first down or a touchdown. 31.5%. That's nearly 33%. That's nearly 1/3 of the time that young man touches the football, and he either scores a touchdown, takes it to the house, or a first down. Far and away the most of any player in the league. So that's the dictionary definition of an MVP, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. Interesting. Incredible stat as well. So spread that. He's 8-1 MVP. How about Monday night? You think Carolina's good? They've been underdog in every game but one, catching 7 against San Francisco. Purdy was excellent last week.
And that's a big number, 7, right?
Yeah.
In San Francisco. The games in San Francisco, the Niners get their stride with Purdy back. 7's a big number. Don't trust the Panthers on the road. Just don't. Just don't trust them. I think the biggest game for any team on the road is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
The Bills at the Texans. That's an absolutely gotta-have-it game for the Buffalo Bills. You talk about gotta-have-it weekend, Week 12. Starts tomorrow night, gentlemen. The Bills at the Texans. Now, Stroud is not playing in the game. He's out, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to go in there. You got to take care of business if you're the Buffalo Bills. That's an absolute gotta-have-it. Walk it down the line. Gotta-have-it. Lions, no question, coming off such a bad game. You're at home. Gotta-have-it. Ravens, you're at home, gotta have it. Packers, you're at home, gotta have it. Chiefs, you're at home, gotta have it. Bears, you're at home. You gotta have that game against the Steelers. I mean, there's no room for mistakes at all in the NFC. You got 9 teams with 6 wins or more. When was the last time going into Week 12 you had 9 teams in one conference with 6 wins or more?
Well, it's a great question. Completely loaded. By the way, do the Bears get it? Like, which quarterback are they going to face on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's his left wrist.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that, and I know Aaron Rodgers, and I know the Steelers. I mean, it's the left wrist. If he can play, he's going to play. And they'll know more on Friday, right? They'll take it easy with him because he doesn't really have to do much in practice. But on Friday, we'll see.
It's a got-to-have-it weekend. What do we have to have? What do we have to start the day with Thursday with Thanksgiving? What's going on at your house?
So, you know, we always do a little bit of early prosciutto and, you know, and we get the platter out, little shrimp, cold cuts, get ourselves ready for the touch football game out in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's the start. That's it. Then we put on the early game and we watch a little of the early game. We'll tape it. We'll go back and forth. We'll look at it. And then you come in the house and there's a plate of lasagna waiting. That's
great.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta have that plate of lasagna first before you get the turkey out. And then after you get the turkey, you know, you got a whole table full of desserts. You got pies, you got cupcakes, you got cookies, and you got a whole tray of different cannolis.
It's the best day of the year. No, I'm so hungry right now listening to that.
Yeah.
By the way,
Professional.
Hey,
Total pro.
Hey, Sal, you, from what I understand now, you got to have the touch football game this year.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's the deal. You know, at pushing 70, right? I'll be 70 in June. Pushing 70, I'm the automatic quarterback. So, you know, I distribute the football. What I do is I make sure that my 11-year-old, 12, going on 12, granddaughter gets a lot of touches. Yeah. She's going to get a Jonathan Taylor level of touches.
There you go. Smart man. Yeah. You make it rain out there. Sal Pell, you're the best. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yep. Cheesesteaks and football. That's what Pennsylvania's all about.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Love Wednesdays. Big fan of this hour. Sal Paolantonio to kick it off every single week. And now it's Wednesdays with the maestro. Mike Palm is the VP of Circa Las Vegas, the Golden Gate, and the D. Hey, pal, how are you?
How are you, Mitch? How are you, Paul? Good to be with you. Neon City Festival weekend.
Yeah.
And also, there's some sort of race down on the Strip.
Okay.
Oh, don't get me started.
Are you a fan of F1?
Well, I'm not. I'll all disclosure here. I don't bet it. I'm not a big fan of auto racing to begin with. I watch NASCAR more than F1.
So I saw Bill Krackomberger, who goes on with Gil, has been going on with Gil every Thursday for forever, right here in VSiN, right? I saw his tweet last night. There is a 7-star customer at one of the casinos in town. Huh. He reached out about a room for this weekend, right? Uh-huh. And they said the price on the screen grab that Bill shared, one room was $5,100 and the other room was like more than $7,000.
Well, they must have been suites.
And Bill's response is like, he's a 7-star customer. You just tell him that you're booked. Don't insult the guy by saying that a room's going to cost you more than $7,000. Is that fair?
I think Bill's point is very fair.
It is very fair. Okay.
Then to tell a customer you're going to have to pay this when you lose this, right?
Right.
Well,
just say there's no room at the inn.
It's you chose to go that angle, and that's fine. But the other angle is what it's done to the city. And I was down on the Strip last week, and you can't take a right on this is inside baseball, but you could let me just say it this way: so many lanes are shut down, and you can't drive down there.
It's for months. It's not
ridiculous.
Just this weekend.
Wow.
They start doing this in the summer to get ready. And they get to go over Koval with Flamingo, and these businesses get shut down for 12 weeks because they don't have no more traffic to them. But we've probably litigated that issue.
Will you guys have a good handle on the race?
I don't know what's good.
I mean, it's not going to compare to like a college football
maybe
game.
Maybe a MAC.
Maybe like tonight,
maybe a MAC
game. That's
maybe tonight. A little more than a Conference USA game, not as much as a MAC.
Well, I know this.
Why?
Yeah.
Weekdays. Conference USA weekdays.
I know people coming to town for it. They've been here every single year for it, and they love it. They love going to it. So, look, I teased this before you came on. Kind of under the radar here, but you leave us with like a great nugget in the NHL or a couple of things to look at, like on that given Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You've been smoking hot going back here. What are you looking at?
We've done okay. I'm looking at the Anaheim game tonight, but we don't know who's in net yet for Boston because Swayman played the other night. If Swayman's in net, I'd like to play this first period under, and I don't mind under 6.5. Right now, you can get it around plus 125, under 1.5. If it's not Swayman, I'm probably going to pass on the game. The Ducks' scoring has come down a little bit. Here's what I will say, though, Mitch, is the speed of these young teams. You're starting to see it now. The Blackhawks, Utah. How about San Jose?
San Jose with
How
the
about
kid?
that turnaround? San Jose with Calabrini. These young, fast teams. Colorado is just a fast team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've lost. But these teams with Montreal, you got to watch this because these older teams, these were the Rangers and the Torontos and the Minnesotas. I don't know how they can compete with these teams with so much speed.
Well, Bedard did it again last night. Yeah. Had a hat trick.
That game was 2-2 going to the third.
That's right. How long before he is in like serious consideration to win the Hart?
I think there's a long way to go.
Are we talking 2 years?
He's a one-way player, though, to me.
Yeah.
To me, and that people in Chicago look at me like I have three heads when I say this. To me, Calabrini jumps off the screen when I'm watching Sharks games in a way that Bedard does not.
Oh, okay.
When I watch Blackhawks. I'm going to tell you something, though. The Blackhawks are interesting because of Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight is very good. That was a great acquisition, getting him in that role he had served, being Bobrovsky's backup in Florida, to be the number one guy. Now, they won last night with Soderblom, so that's like found points. I always say when you can win with Soderblom. But Spencer Knight will keep them in most games. Another angle I'll give you, just going forward, after Florida and Tampa Bay play each other, especially if one's on back-to-back, fade that team. These are wars, right? These two just hate each other.
Good
Right?
angle.
Cooper and Maurice hate each other. So I think you can fade both teams off their next game, although Tampa lost at home, right? But Florida won their next game. But you would have got a dog with Vancouver going there to play them on Sunday there. So I think that's another angle to look at.
Maybe sometimes it's not meant to be. Did you see what happened to Luosterainen with Florida? He had a barbecue mishap. He's out.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
What about Hughes? I mean,
What's going on here?
These injuries are starting to mount up for some of these teams as well. Not just accidents, but injuries are starting to mount.
Did they go into detail about the barbecue mishap?
He must have burned himself because Maurice said something about when he can put the gear back on without the pain.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like Hetfield in Montreal
Jeez.
when he walked into the flames at a Metallica concert. Who knows? Brutal. What's going on? Is Toronto going to make the playoffs?
I don't know.
This is not good.
I don't know if Berube's going to make it to the end of the year.
Oh, no.
They play no defense.
Yeah.
Every game is like a spring training game for them. It's like preseason, though. There's just no defense on that team when you watch them play. They don't hit anybody. And I think they've tuned Berube out, and they don't like Stolarz. I bet Stolarz to win Vezina. They don't like the guy.
That's weird.
You can see that the team in front of him doesn't like him.
Yep.
So there's big problems there. There's big problems in St. Louis, too, Paul. That's a bad team.
Yeah.
And Bennington's bad. And yet he'll start.
Well,
And yet he'll start for Team Canada.
they got hot last year and almost took out Winnipeg.
They won 13 in a row, but they won 13 in a row to make the playoffs.
I know.
They went in as the 2 wild card, and they had to win 13 games in a row at the end of the year.
That's right.
They weren't good either last year.
Do you have an update on a possible chop here for Circa Grandissimo, the $100,000 buy-in?
I do not.
It's not going to happen?
No profanity updates, no anything.
Nothing?
I don't know. I don't have any updates.
No text messages
insight.
with...
No.
Okay.
I don't get this because you have a poker background. David Baker's on the show tomorrow. Poker players love to chop.
Love it.
then why are this group with poker players are so anti?
Because there's too many in the group.
One of them one of them, right? Yes.
Yeah, there's too many in that group. If you got 10 guys in the group, you're not interested in 1.1 million, are you?
They might not be. Evidently not.
Maybe not.
Right.
But even if you have dissent, you probably have it. Either one person controls the decision, or everybody has a voice, right?
Yeah.
And if everybody has a voice, does it have to be unanimous, or is it majority? I don't know. These things all got to be talked about. That's why survivor deals are complicated with partners.
Very much so.
Especially when it's one pick a week.
And then, but then on top of it, though, Derek told us yesterday, he thinks that there's one where a guy sold his share of it, and they still have like 8 or 9 guys involved.
So one person sold to a stranger, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the other 8 or 9. Yeah.
Right.
What's the ceiling for that contest, do you think? What's the, like, how do you think you guys could ever get to like 200 people in that thing?
Boy, why not?
I'm asking you. I don't know.
Why we couldn't do it in the next 2 years?
Could you? Okay.
Maybe it's next year. Nobody even knew what it was or what it was going to be this year.
Very
We got
true.
69.
The guy in Utah. That story's incredible.
Yeah.
If to the plane and flew down here, just heard about it. I don't know. I mean, you were one of the ones that first that said we'd get 20,000 in Survivor. Everybody laughed at Mitch Moss.
No, they did. Yeah.
Right? And now we're at 18.7.
We're getting close.
It'll be next year.
That'll pay touch 20 next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it
just because the $100,000 buy-in is just so different to this, but also to get 69 in year one, nobody guessed that many people.
I said 30. I thought, and I thought I could have been wildly high.
Yeah.
How many teams are going to be selected? What's the over/under? 13 last week.
Well, there's a lot of them that have 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, right? I don't know who people have left. I mean, you go through this list this week and you say, well, who has them left? But every team that's a big favorite, but you say, well, who has them left?
That's right.
It's not like there's some bad teams in great spots this week.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know that. I brought up using.
How about for you? You're still into the Westgate.
I'm in both. I mean,
But how many are left? 7, 5?
8.
Okay.
I don't like this week for a Westgate entry.
What are your options this
What's the
week?
problem?
I'm not obligated to talk about it at this point.
Well, you're
You
not
don't like
never
your option?
obligated, but allowed might be the better word.
Yeah, I'm not going to allow myself to talk about it at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah.
like your options?
I don't like our options.
You
Yeah.
don't like your options.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, because we burned a couple of pretty good teams
All right. Fair
on
enough.
that entry.
Fair enough.
But the Circa one, I brought this up. I think the Saints are going to be used by at least one person. Indiana Jet, who won this contest 2 years ago, tweeted the show, and he goes, I think the number of people who will be on the Saints this week will surprise you. How about that?
Well, I will be surprised. Yes, I will be surprised.
Yeah.
In week 12,
If you haven't used the Bears yet, do you consider them this week?
Who's playing quarterback?
yeah.
This luck cannot continue. You can't force 3-4 turnovers every single game.
But somehow, after they screw up, they find a way back into it. That's the thing I do like about the team.
Yeah.
Like, they should have had that game put away.
I know.
Santos misses a kick that would have
That's
put
right.
it, but
That's
yet they
right.
still came back. They give up a 15-point lead to Cincinnati. They still came. So they do fight through.
Yeah.
They do fight through adversity.
As the official horse racing partner of VSiN First Bet, built for bettors who demand more. It isn't about placing a bet. It's about helping bettors of all levels with handicapping tools that provide data-driven insights, help you make smarter bets. The in-app tools give you win, place, and show probabilities for each runner. You can quickly and easily identify good value plays and improve your ROI. Take advantage of limited time $250 sign-up offer and claim your bonus now. Code VSiN250. Get your money, $250. VSiN250 First Bet app or at firstbet.com.
Up next, Mike's going to explain how Angel Reese made it to the NBA. You cannot be serious on deck.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time now for some best bets, NFL, college football, maybe a little college basketball as well tonight. Some really good games on the schedule as VSiN host Matt Youmans joins the program now. He is on the Progressive guest line. Matt, good afternoon. Good to talk to you as always. Let's begin here. A little National Football League. Bears, Steelers. Intriguing matchup. Is Rodgers going to play? Is it going to be Rudolph? You have a bet here. You like a side. Which one is it?
Well, I bet Steelers +3 early this week, and I talked about that with Super Dave and Jensen on that morning show Tuesday. If Mason Rudolph is a quarterback, I got a lot of confidence in him, actually. He jumped in there in the second half last week, led 2 scoring drives. He's 12 for 16, 127 yards with a touchdown. I actually think the offense might be a little better with Rudolph than it is with Rodgers, especially if Rodgers has the wrist issue. And you look at the Bears; they're 7-3, but no team's been luckier in the NFL at this point. The Bears have won games by 1, 2, 4, and 5 points. And you can make an argument they probably should have lost all 5 of those. They have the NFL best turnover margin of plus 16 with 22 takeaways and 6 giveaways, and that's been the secret to the Bears' success. But, I do like the Steelers in this spot. And I think I talked to Jason Jarvis, who's the leader right now in the Circa Friday Football Invitational. And as I mentioned to you, Jarvis is in the zone right now. He's seeing things better than about anybody I know. Maybe Potato Commish is a little bit hotter. But Jarvis has got 10 straight best bet winners. I said, what do you think of Steelers-Bears? Because I was considering this survivor option, and he said, I think the Steelers are going to beat them. So I crossed the Bears off the survivor list. I like the Steelers anyway.
Okay. How about the Chiefs? Do they bounce back after losing in Denver and got to have it game season on the line? Any cliche you want?
Yep. Throw out all those cliches, and I do think they matter this week for a 5-5 team that's 3.5 games back of the Broncos. It looks like they're going to win the AFC West. Chiefs have won that 9 straight years, every year since 2016. But the one-score games last year, I know you probably talked about 12-0, and this year they're 0-5. I think Patrick Mahomes' play has declined significantly, and I think it's a big reason why they're not winning those one-score games. And the Colts are in a decent situation here off a bye, but I think when you get a team like the Chiefs backed against the wall in a must-win type of game at home at 3 minus 120, I had to play it. I think the Chiefs are going to come up big. You're going to see their A game this week. Another thing about this is the Colts' defensive line is not going to put the type of pressure. Their defensive front's not going to put the type of pressure on Mahomes that the Broncos did. And the Broncos were all over him Sunday.
Matt, so I'm watching the Northwestern Michigan game last weekend, and you love Northwestern plus the points. That was never really a sweat. And you actually said on the show a week ago, I think they can win the game. I want to put some money on them on the money line. They almost did. I mean, they could have easily won that game. Now you're going to fade Michigan again this weekend. You're taking the points. Are you going to sprinkle a little money line on Maryland as well?
I'm not going to bet Maryland money line this week. I was more confident in Northwestern as a home dog last week. That's what I like. Northwestern's coach David Braun a lot better than I like Mike Locksley. And I thought the Purple Cats at Wrigley Field were really going to be live to win that game. They end up losing 24-22. Locksley is coming back to Maryland. I think that's going to be a boost for this team. He's a player's coach. They like him. They're going to play for him. Even though he's not one of my favorite coaches, he's a recruiter. Maryland should be, I'm going to say, somewhat live in this spot because I think you have to look at the look-aheads for Ohio State and Michigan before they play each other next week. And the Big Ten does this a lot where they set up the Wolverines and Buckeyes with a relatively easy opponent the week before they play each other. You notice Ohio State's a 31.5-point favorite against Rutgers, and Michigan right now at Circa laying 14 to Maryland. The problem here with the Wolverines, and there's a few. Bryce Underwood, the quarterback, I thought looked pretty good. Freshman looked pretty good in the first half last week, but then he regressed and got picked off a couple times in the second half. He still tries to rocket every throw, even when he's got a receiver open 5 yards away from him. He hasn't learned how to play quarterback yet, but Michigan had a really good running attack that was able to, I think he could lean on for a lot of help with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. Well, Haynes is out. He had foot surgery. I'm not even sure he's going to make it back for the Ohio State game. He was the leading rusher. Jordan Marshall's a really good back, too. He left the Northwestern game with an upper arm, shoulder injury. And Sharon Moore, the coach, said it doesn't look like he's going to play this week against Maryland. So you got your top 2 running backs out. You're looking ahead to the Ohio State game. I think you got to take the Terps plus 14.
All right. San Diego State was a huge dog to win the Mountain West. They got a big win last week in a game you were at. They should be safe, hopefully, but it's a mess about who's going to meet in the Mountain West title game. Yeah. How about the game out here Friday? UNLV lane 3 against Hawaii, 64.5 the total.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game Friday night. It's going to be a lot better than that Cowboys-Raiders game was at Allegiant Stadium on Monday night. I think this should be a shootout. And if you look at Micah Alejado, the freshman quarterback for Hawaii, he's out of Bishop Gorman in Vegas. He's going to be jacked up for this game. In the last 5, Hawaii's 4-1. Alejado's averaged 358.8 yards passing, and that offense has averaged 39 points a game. If you look at the UNLV defense right now, it ranks 100th or worse in almost every key category, especially the pass defense categories. And it's not just Alejado. He's got 3 big-time speed receivers who can make plays. And you saw what the Hawaii offense did to that San Diego State defense a couple weeks ago. That was the Aztecs defense was number 2 in the nation in scoring. And Hawaii put up 24 points in the first half. I think Hawaii's going to go up and down the field here against UNLV. I like it over 64.5. I'm taking the dog +3. Rebels were lucky to beat Utah State a week ago in double overtime because the Aggies missed a couple of field goals they should have made. And again, UNLV is an 8-2 team, but 5 of those wins are by 1 score, so I do like Hawaii.
Dynamite analysis there. If you're not a Gator, you're Gator bait. Do you think Florida is a live dog against Tennessee this weekend?
I do. And the Vols have not won in the Swamp since 2003. And Billy Gonzalez, who's the interim coach, these players like him. I think they want to win for him. It's going to be an electric night, actually, in the Swamp, even though you got a 7-3 team against a 3-7 team. I think Florida really wants this win in this rivalry game. It's their first true home game in about a month. They're going to honor Urban Meyer. You could say a couple weeks ago that it looked like the Gators quit when they got blown out by Kentucky, but they came back last week and played Ole Miss really tough. In fact, Florida led that game 24-20 going into the fourth quarter, and there was a big controversial call that went Ole Miss's way. Somebody needs to investigate the SEC officiating, by the way. You want to talk about corruption. The SEC officiating needs to be investigated. Anyway, Ole Miss gets off the hook and wins the game. I think the Gators are going to be live to win this. You can find 4.5 out there, 4 at most spots. But I do like the Gators to come up big here in a night game in the Swamp.
How about college hoops tonight? Number 3 against number 4. UConn 4.5 against Arizona.
All right. So what's interesting about this game? Did you guys talk about the Terrace Reed injury yet?
No, we talked about the UConn game against BYU a little bit, though.
Okay, yeah. UConn was up 20 and almost blew the game.
Yep.
And I got to think that Dan Hurley's going to be, he'll be a psycho on the sideline tonight. And his team blew a 20-point lead. He's going to be ticked off about that. But also, Hurley's a coach who puts so much emphasis on defense. And that's not true with Tommy Lloyd on the other side. So you got one of the strongest home courts in college basketball, and Hurley, a defensive maniac against Tommy Lloyd, who's basically an offensive coach. I love UConn in this spot. The thing I don't like is the Terrace Reed injury, which just came down about an hour ago. So this number opened 4.5, which I thought was about right. It got up to 7.5. And Will Hill, who's going to the game tonight, asked me about it today, and I said, I think 7.5 is a little too high. Well, it dropped to 4.5, and that's because Terrace Reed, the 6'11 senior, averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds, is out. And that's going to leave a big hole in the middle tonight for UConn. So I loved UConn in the game. Don't like them as much now, but I still think UConn finds a way to pull out the win. Might be something you look at live, or maybe something you would play on the money line tonight.
Okay, one other game, too. Alabama plays against Illinois. I had this game circled a couple of days ago for one reason. I wanted to look at the total. Then I saw the opener of 181. I'm like, okay, that'll do it for me. I'm not going to bet that one. But sitting at 180.5 right now. Illini by 3. What do you like here?
So Alabama made 16 threes against Purdue, but didn't shoot. I think it was 16 for 44. They're going to put up about 50 threes tonight. Just like you, I was looking at this game and I said, I want to bet this over the total. DraftKings briefly opened the total 176.5.
Oh, okay.
But it got bet up pretty quickly and got up to 182.5. Now 180. I think that total's about right at 180. Like I said, I wish I had played this over 176.5. This is the type of game. Look, Illinois is not a really strong defensive team, but they've got scorers and they've got size all over the floor. They're going to be able to score inside on Alabama. They're going to score from all over the place. But the Tide are going to jack up threes, and the Illini don't defend the three-point line very well. So I still think, you got a real good shot that this is going to go over the total of 180. That's the only way I could look at that game tonight.
Very good. Matt, great spot as always. Best of luck this week. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
There you go. A little bit of everything there sprinkled in. By the way, for the record, college football, he also likes Stanford +3 against Cal, and he likes Utah State. On the screen right now, I'm seeing that team also +3 against Fresno this week. Up next, got a couple of good 6-7 plays for tonight, and I'm going to run. This guy is now cleared to play tonight. He's been out for a couple of weeks, but he was going bombs away from downtown. He's almost 2-1 to make 2 threes tonight. I got to run it by Paulie first. I'll tell you who it is next on VSiN.